Hello and welcome everyone. It is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. Today was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. I got into my comic shop early this morning, got all my books, had a day off work, so I actually got to read them. I got time to put out a video. I know, like, holy crap, what's going on? But there was some really good books out today. Man, I didn't buy like a usual boatload, but boy, there was some really good stuff. Whole bunch of first appearances too, so we'll get into that in just a second. Thank you to all my subscribers on YouTube and Instagram. I say it every week, you're all awesome. Thank you so much. Love being part of this community. Don't forget, Nick still got that free 1-week trial with the Key Collector Comics app. It's a free download from your phone. If you want to try it out for a week, just put in the code JimComics and you get access to all the options and everything on there. It's really good. I highly recommend it. I know a lot of you use it, but if you don't, give it a shot. Real quick, before I get going into my books, I don't know about any of you, but I signed up for Disney Plus last night. When I got home from work anyways. And I was able to sign up no problem. I tried to watch it, The Mandalorian first thing, and it just said, sorry, error, can't watch it. So I think what happened, there was just so many, they got kind of overwhelmed. The servers basically kind of got a little overwhelmed with all the people that signed. Because I heard there was like 10 million people that signed up in the first day, so pretty darn good. But anyways, I did get to watch Mandalorian, which was pretty good. I was pretty impressed with it. I bought the 1-year package, so I don't know how many of you got it, but I'm really looking forward to a lot of the movies and the shows that are going to be coming out on there. Man, that looks really good. But just wanted to mention that because that was I was looking forward to that coming out. So we'll talk about my independents I got here real quick. I got Dollhouse Family #1. I haven't read all my independents yet. I've read one. I read Folklords, but I haven't read that one. I'm looking forward to it. Joe Hill comics, Stephen King's son. Yes, not Tom King's son. It is Stephen King's son. I got my Family Tree #1, another Jeff Lemire title. Looking forward to that one. Again, I haven't read that one yet, but looking forward to it. I got my Folklords #1. I just grabbed cover A from Boom Studios. Really looking. I did read that one. That was good, I should say. I'm looking forward to the rest of the books in that series. I love kind of the fantasy stuff, and the artwork's actually pretty good in it. So that's the only independence I got, but I'm looking forward to continue with that one. So that looks good. For DC, picked up my. Oh, hang on one second. I think I mixed one in here for. Oh no, I was out today. Got my. I picked up. What the hell book was that? Is that Detective Comics? Shit. Yeah, it is Detective Comics 1015. What am I doing? It's late at night. What can I say? That was okay. I wasn't the greatest one. I got my Justice League Odyssey #15. I haven't been buying this series, but it had the first appearance of Gamma Knife in there. That's the only reason I bought it. But I do like these. I don't know about you, but I really like these plastic covers they're putting on. Where you flip them open, you get the two images. They're really nice. A nice thing I like about them is all the corners on these. None of the corners are punched out like a lot of the paper covers and stuff. Just because the plastic helps, I guess it cuts better or whatever, but they look really sharp, and I like that one. So I got Wonder Woman #82 just because it has looks. I read this, and I think there's 3 women that are in a cave, and they end up kind of teaming up with Cheetah near the end. So it looks like you got your 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse, but I don't think they were actually. I don't remember them being called that in there, so we'll have to. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But anyways, got Dark Multiverse, Blackest Night. Sinestro becomes the Limbo Lantern in that, which is kind of interesting. So it actually was a pretty good story. One of the books, this was my one of my picks of the week for sure, was really hope you got this one. Don't sleep on this one. If you haven't got into your shop yet, man, pick this up. Far Sector #1. I got the regular cover. I got cover B, and then I also got cover C for that one. I got all 3 of them. That's really good. That's the first appearance. I'm not going to try and say her first name. It's just Joe Moline. That's New Green Lantern. And Jamal Campbell's I mentioned this in my last video. He's the artist on this one. He was the artist for Naomi. Artwork is really good, and the story was surprisingly really good. It's kind of a detective murder mystery kind of thing, way out in space and everything. So it's pretty good. That I'm looking forward to reading the rest of that. So don't sleep on that one, folks. Make sure you pick that one up because that is a first appearance, and that one's going places, I think, anyways. From Marvel, I grabbed the free Spotlight. That was out today, so I grabbed that. I got my History of the Marvel-verse #5. I just grabbed the one cover. I've been liking that so far. I got Punisher Soviet, and there's a new last page of this. You get a new guy. Basically, he's kind of going around imitating the Punisher, just wiping people out. So right at the last page, they kind of meet and you see who he is. So technically, that's the first appearance of that guy, so that's worth getting. Morbius, Living Vampire. I only grabbed cover A, but I love the Ryan Brown artwork on that. That is just a gorgeous cover. That's a wicked-ass cover. Really like that one. And you do get a character in there. I just don't know if she's new or not. I got to look into that a bit more. But anyways, that was a good read. I mentioned this one in my last video, Spider-Verse #1, the second print. I really recommend you pick this up. It's going to be a low print. It's your first appearance of Spider-Zero, and a couple other ones I think in there as well. I mentioned that too, but Spider-Zero is a key character in my opinion, and going to end up in a movie at some point, so try to pick that one up if you can. It's a much lower print than the first one. Fallen Angels, I got regular cover A, and then I got the Young Guns variant for that one. And that actually wasn't bad. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was as good as X-Men 2, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed that. And then there's a whole mention of Apoth, that new god and everything coming. And this whole X series is really good. And then, of course, like I was just mentioning, got X-Men #2, a few copies of that. That was really good. And like I mentioned in my last video, it kind of figured that Araco and Krakoa were going to, or it was going to be Araco was the other island. It was. And they ended up merging and joining into one and everything else. And you do have a new character showing up, the High Summoner. And it's interesting that the High Summoner is the son of War. And back in, I did that video about, when was that, a month and a half ago, about talking about X Factor #15 is your first appearance of the Horseman of Apocalypse. But then in Marvel Comics 1000, Apocalypse went to the what am I trying to say, the sarcophaguses or whatever of the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse, the original ones. And he talked about resurrecting them. But it's interesting that in this you get and he says, "Rise, children, rise." So it was funny. Now you've got the one son of War who's shown up. So are we going to get children of the Apocalypse or the original Horsemen showing up in the next few issues, which is kind of what it looks like. So, man, stick with this, because you're going to likely in the next few issues you're going to get a different one of these children showing up, and eventually you're going to get a new 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse showing up. So. Yeah, definitely stick with that series. It is really, that was probably my best read this week was X-Men #2. That was really good. I really like Far Sector too. That was a really good title. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, stick with X-Men because, like I say, I think we're going to be, by the looks of it, anyways, we're going to be getting a new 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. I thought we'd be getting the original one showing up, but it looks like we're going to be getting all the children. So that is interesting. And then in the background, I got Inhumans #1. That's their first. Solo title from 1975, and the reason for that is there's a lot of buzz right now about the Inhumans. I mean, everything Marvel. I mean, almost every character at some point is going to be coming back. And the Inhumans TV show from a few years ago was just terrible, and it tanked. And because of that, nobody is paying any attention to any of the comics with Inhumans really, and you can get really good prices on them. And so that is absolutely the time to buy them if you're interested in getting those. And the reason for that is it sounds like the Inhumans are going to be brought back in fairly soon. So ones you're going to want to get, obviously Fantastic Four 45 it's a pricey book, even though it's kind of got dropped a bit because the show sucked. But if you get that for a good price, that's a good one. I don't have that one. Thor 146 to 152 is the whole. There's like a backstory in each of those, all about the origin of the Inhumans. Those are really good. I've got some of them, but I don't have the whole run. I'm trying to pick those up. And then there's, like I say, the Inhumans, their first solo title is a good. That's a cheap book. That's like a $20 book. It's nothing special. And then I showed this on Instagram, Silver Surfer. This is the Best Defense #1. This is the scan variant, one for $25. I just love that book. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but in the background, this ball of fire, I thought it was just like a sun or whatever, but it's actually, if you remember in the book, this is the first appearance of the train, and then there's a god, called the Conductor, who basically is in control of this thing. And this is actually, this ball of fire is the flame, and this little bit in behind here is actually the ship, the train. So I didn't realize that at the time. That's not why I got here. But anyways, it's first appearance of the Conductor, and he's a god, unlike any seen before, is how it's listed. And it's interesting, this came out almost exactly a year ago, and then there's been nothing, kind of, you haven't heard about him, nothing at all. And then upcoming soon, you've got that whole Annihilation Scourge series coming, and it's Marvel has a history of introducing characters, and then you don't hear much about them for a year. I mean, just look at Red Goblin. Have you seen anything for him? He came out almost exactly a year ago. Haven't heard anything from him. Now you're starting to hear back from him again. Had that Red Goblin title that just came out not too long ago. But that's how Marvel does it. They did the same thing with Venom. He came out, and then about a year later, he was, big everywhere and everything else. So I'm not saying this is a character like Venom or Red Goblin, but, a lot of times these characters will pop up a year or so later. And this is a book that's dirt cheap at the moment. Now, this one's a 1 for $25, but the regular cover A is pretty cheap. So if you haven't got it, I'd recommend it. Anytime you get a first appearance, especially of a god in the Marvel Universe, it's one worth picking up. So anyway, just throwing that out there. That's it. That's all I got for you this week, folks. Happy hunting. I will talk to you later in the week. I do have that giveaway, which I'll announce in my next video. I just want to give people a week to get in on it. So, but then I will talk to you on probably Saturday. Anyways, happy hunting. Hope you made it to your comic shop today. It was a really good day. A lighter week, but man, there was some good stuff. So that's it. Bye for now.